don't get coronavirus in your heart.
Which do we?
It's the base. LOSO__G.
Deacon, the engineer.
That boy. I'm Hector Santana.
Okay.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Okay. What should we know about Hector Santana? What's interesting about him?
What's interesting about me? I like to do martial arts and I like to do data science. So I fight. I'm I guess fighter by night, masquerade as a data scientist by day.
Okay.
Do some acting here and there. Sometimes I drop some poems, spoken word poems once in a while. I don't know.
Okay.
Ooh.
So what's new with you, man? How you been dealing with COVID? What's up?
It's it's not terrible. I'm pretty good at routine, I guess. It's just the days start to blend a lot at this point. It's like, sometimes, like I'm always like 2 days behind, at least in my head. I'm like, is the weekend ever coming? But I mean, mainly it's just adjusting to being home, and I'm a homebody generally, so that's not too bad for me. I do some ones lately. I've been getting a little more stir crazy, but that's not staying at home isn't terrible. Working though at home it's not bad, but the hours feel longer. I don't know. It feels like it hits more. Maybe because I'm more focused and productive at home than when I was at the office.
You can't fucking escape work. That's why you can't escape. There's no escape.
Right. There's no
Exactly.
Office, you kill so much time in the office.
Just
like,
talking shit, doing
just
talking shit.
playing. You're playing the fun game. It's you play adults at work,
Yo,
and then you get a little bit of work in between.
being back on site, I waste how much. I realize how much time I just waste running around and just talking to my coworkers, bro, and helping other people out because they don't know. Yeah, it's just it's mad time, bro.
You're helping them.
I agree. A lot of it's because I'm the only guy who does the back office, middle office functions, and I report. We're like an 8-person hedge fund, so I report directly to the CFO, and I run all the analytics and middle office, back office functions. So everybody, when I'm at work, everybody's tapping on my shoulder every 5 minutes, and that eats up a lot of time. Or like crazy Bear Stearns finance environment where people are just cursing each other out all day creates distractions. So, but now I don't have those people. So now it's like 100% focus, and then I just get like 10 million calls. Though the number has dwindled down since the start of the pandemic, the number of calls I get. But when this shit first hit the fan, I was getting at least 100 calls a day. Just like
You mentioned Bear Stearns, and we all know what happened to them. Why did you bring them up?
Because the fund is run by ex-Bear Stearns employees.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, mainly the guys, the portfolio managers, the CFO are all ex-Bear Stearns, and then the rest of the credit analysts they hired from J.P. Morgan, but they knew them through like their network.
So you work for a hedge fund? Like what exactly?
Yeah, I work for a distressed debt hedge fund. So, but like, I guess in simple terms, we're multi-sector. We don't in the fixed income space. We don't focus just on one asset, and lately we've been gravitating more towards real estate. But my role there generally, they brought me in initially to be like super IT man, to manage the trade system. But
what'd you go to school for?
I went to school for enterprise risk management, and I have a minor in economics.
Damn, how'd you get into IT work? How the fuck did that lead into IT work? Like, that doesn't seem like an IT thing. Or maybe it's me. That name sounds fancy. It could be anything.
It's really, and I have a really interesting path. Because when I was in school, I was trying to make it to Wall Street. Because that was how my dad raised me. Was like he's an IT guy at Credit Suisse, and he loved Wall Street since I was little, and he wanted me to work on Wall Street forever.
Quick check. Was that around when Wolf of Wall Street came out? When did Wolf of Wall Street came out? Before or after the movie?
I don't know. I think it was after I was born.
I forgot it then. The joke's not going to be funny. So, yeah, you wanted to be on Wall Street and stuff?
Yeah, he wanted me to be on Wall Street. I wanted to be a scientist. Eventually, I gave in and I started studying finance and stuff as I grew up. I got to college, and I went through this program called Sponsorship for Educational Opportunities. My junior year, I got into banking, investment banking, and that was a crazy internship. But I realized I was very technologically inept. And so my senior year, when I got back to school, I was like, I got to close the gap. So I took I talked to like people in the network who were like financial risk analysts, and they all do quant level work, which just involves like using R and statistical analysis, etc. So they said, learn R. And I said, bet, I'm going to go learn R. So I took a John Hopkins.
What's R, by the way, so for people who don't know? R
is a statistical programming language. It's like one of the few languages that was created by statisticians versus like software engineers. So the syntax and stuff is slightly different. It's more favorable if you're a statistician. But a lot of risk guys use it because a lot of risk is analyzed using statistics. So I took this course on Coursera, and it was hyper advanced. I don't remember much of it, but I passed barely, and I liked it. So I took a course in Python online through the same program, and that was for beginners. And then I really liked it, and then I was like, oh, I want to use my programming skills. So, long story short, as I worked in my professional career after school, I just looked for every opportunity to implement programmatic solutions to my stuff. And so like I became the Python guy when I worked at Ernst & Young, and I actually built the course up from the ground up. I built the whole Python course. I taught it on the East and West Coast, and like I was the Python guy essentially. Like before I left Ernst & Young to come to the hedge fund, they were talking about running campaigns and stuff, where I was leading them using Python and like big data and stuff, but they were burning me out, so I had to go.
Oh yeah, they were. That's what happens when you work in a big corporate environment. It's like there's crazy opportunities for advancement, but if you show that you're really good in this one particular thing, you get railroaded.
Exactly. So, and that's I was like, when I worked at Ernst & Young, the first 2 years, I was doing 16-hour days almost every day. Like every couple weeks, I had a weekend off. Like I'd go 2 weeks straight, sometimes without a weekend. My first year, I worked through Christmas and Thanksgiving, and New Year's. Like I didn't have those holidays because I always got put on crazy projects that were about to blow up, and then I would come up with some programmatic solution that would save it, or like I just do a bunch of grunt work and I'd fill in the gaps, and then the project wasn't working out. So that was my first experience with that, and then like it just built all forward from there. And then I was pretty adamant about like being a superstar, so I would like put a shit ton of internal work on myself. But that's how I got my Python skill set. And that's how I ended up getting this hedge fund job. Was like, all right, I built all these cool things. I taught the course, and like I was looking for a new role. They brought me in, and they're like, okay, we want you to use that programming background to run our trade system.
Yeah.
But these guys are old. They're like 80s Bear Stearns guys, so they barely know how to use Excel sometimes. Some of them. Long story short, I got in, and then the trade system was just interactive. You click, there was no scripting involved. It was just a conceptual thing. But there was a free reign for me to implement whatever programming solutions I wanted. So, and there wasn't like corporate restrictions where I couldn't download software. So I downloaded my. So
you basically do whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly. When it comes to programming, I do whatever I want, and I built some really cool things in the last couple of years that I wouldn't have had the opportunity to build in a corporate setting.
Oh, that's dope, man. That's dope. So where do you think your career is gonna go next?
Well, I'm hoping,
or just in general, like what do you want to do? Where do you think things are going? What do you want to? I mean, you can answer it however you want.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Well, I really want to get into a point in my career where like I can produce research papers. Like I'm like valuable to the scientific community. Like I can bridge the gap between the data science and like physicists or like mathematicians and stuff. I mean, I still got a long ways to go because I need to fill in my own gaps. Like I don't do machine learning, for instance, or like more of the artificial intelligence level stuff where people are creating very complex neural networks or things that are out of the general layman's scope. I don't do that at work. I got to get more involved with that. But that's where I hope to take my career.
Yo, Hector's that 1 and 0s meme, but you replace the African dude with the Aztec warrior. Fucking
Yo, that's actually my fault because I'm actually doing similar stuff to that, like on my own. Like the machine learning and the AI stuff is actually stuff I gotta learn on my own. I ended up getting a specific GPU just to be able to start practicing that. But right now, what I'm teaching myself is R, because I built out the data warehouse and all the data solution stuff for like that team, and now they want to run R scripts. So now I got a few things that I had to create pipelines for, specifically with R scripts. But yeah, man, there's just so many fucking random things you gotta learn. But I do like the data stuff. There are some projects that I'm working on my own in regards to specifically being able to aggregate public like data. We could talk offline and stuff like that. I think I got your number, so we'll just text. But no, it sounds
I
like
think last time you mentioned.
I like how he just volunteered himself. He was like, "Yeah, man, I'll hit you up about this." Like,
that's cool. It's always fun though. I love doing those things. Last time we talked, you were looking at web scrapers. I told you about Selenium solution in Python, where it circumvents like internet web security, like Google Captcha, invisible Captcha systems, and other cybersecurity features on websites like robots.txt, for instance.
Damn, look at you. I didn't know about all that other stuff. I do like regular, like surface level. Me specifically trying to find like documents. But usually I know what kind of documents I'm looking for. I'm not searching for something that, is hidden. It's just a way of scripting it so that I can download all of it like at once and ship it.
I know when you put hashtag FFFFF, it makes the screen black on MySpace. That's all I got.
That's everyone's introduction to coding. Fucking MySpace HTML. Once you master that shit, bro, like give me a job.
Yeah. People used to have it used to take minutes sometimes for some people's pages to load because they would just drop mad fucking shit into that
glitter.
fucking.
It'd be glitter for
it'd be fucking Seizure City, like mad extra shit.
Yeah, I can't code for shit. So.
No, I mean, all you gotta do is learn.
Yeah.
He's like, learning? Fuck that shit. That shit's stupid.
He's done with school. But my fault, man. You were saying, so you build out their entire brain, and now.
Yeah, I do like. It's like alternative projects though. Like I really want to get to like the credit analyst side where I can build the brain for real. But like I haven't migrated there, and they haven't migrated me because I'm the only one that does the essential operations. Like the credit analysts do the investments, but investments don't keep the business running. Operations keep the business running. Me booking, making sure the profit and loss is recorded correctly and all our accounting is done correctly, and that our net returns are going out to investors correctly. That's what keeps us running. And then like everything else is a nice to have. So
is this like your only career path? Like what do you how do you envision your life going forward? Like what are all the things you want to do?
And did you even
let me think. Well, I definitely want to get into like performance, sports performance, using data science for that, like to help athletes, like Henry Cejudo, who is the two-way.
Henry Cejudo, that guy, the greatest combat athlete ever. I mean, you're kind of like. I mean, I can see comparisons to you and Cejudo.
Whoa.
That's not a bad thing. What the fuck?
No, we're the same height. We're the same.
Yeah.
We got
he's Cejudo-ish. I mean, Cejudo's a little goofy, but like, he's an incredible athlete, Oh
yeah, he's definitely an oddball. But I met him. I didn't meet him, but I saw him. He was at one of our wrestling tournaments when I wrestled in high school. Before anybody knew who he was just on the Olympic team, I think, or the national team. And He would. I don't remember him being that friendly, but my coach used to bugging me to go talk to him. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? I just walked over, but I didn't say anything. I just walked away to appease my coach.
Oh man!
And now he's the biggest combat athlete in the world.
He's like, you're Hispanic. He's Hispanic. You guys wrestle. Come on, what's up, man?
Pretty much.
Yo, so why? I'm curious though, like why? More in regards to, I guess the things you wanted to do and things you want to do in the future. Why do you want to? Why'd you want to be a scientist?
I want the things I do to have like really like real world impact.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, me too, bro.
You can be like a data scientist for finance, but the only impact you're having is making other people poorer and making yourself richer. Which I guess if you
Wow,
really,
it's fucking cynical
Capitalism.
over here. Oh my god, are you
Yes, the
trying?
inside scoop.
Are you trying to seize the means of production on this podcast? Like, I didn't know that's what we were doing, bro.
I mean, it's the truth though. It's like we live in a capitalistic structure, so it's like.
Are you okay with that? Are you okay with that? Are you cool
Are you
with
okay with
that?
capitalism?
Is that what you?
Are you yourself? Huh? No.
You can turn this into animal form.
I mean, sometimes it's an interesting question. Am I okay with it?
Yeah, you're looking.
Not
You
necessarily.
look kind of revolutionary right now. You look looking a little.
Put that face on a shirt.
Look a little Castro-ish out here. Like, what's up?
I'm trying. I'm growing into beard, maybe a little bit more, and then I'll switch my political views. No, but it is an interesting question. Like, I mean, I don't feel good necessarily working in finance. I know that I contribute to the income gap essentially, and like the way that a lot of finances progress in modern day is they've created a large deviation between the common man's access to wealth and then like the hyper elite. Like during this pandemic was the largest transfer in wealth in human history, and it just created a massive inequality gap. I mean, the best example is like Jeff Bezos is the first ever trillionaire, or soon to be trillionaire, due to the fact that people mass ordered Amazon goods once this pandemic hit.
Mhm.
But that's just like a small example. A lot of these companies took advantage of the loopholes from these relief efforts for COVID-19. And in turn, a lot of small businesses went out. So like that's their elite wealth grew like tenfold versus everybody else who became more impoverished. I mean, the unemployment rate went up to 16% at one point. Now it's dropped back down to like 10.8%, which is, I don't know if it's 100% accurate because they had an error last month, so 3% gap in that error margin. But like, it's hard. I don't know. It's hard to feel good about yourself and what you're trying to do in life is make an impact versus just making money. Like, I don't want to be like, when I die, I don't want to be like, oh, I just made money. I'm rich, great. And then like, I produce
It's
a lot
expensive coffin.
Like, I live in a gold coffin. I have a gold coffin that has some snot-nosed kids that maybe I have, and they grow up with apathetic to the world.
So you're trying to be less. I'm trying to think of like a real. You're trying to be like less like Saudi royal family and more Warren Buffett.
Yes, that's
That type of. Okay.
sort of along those lines. But I wanted my data science to eventually cross over into hard science, into like the other hard sciences, like that. Like for instance, today I was reading an article about the discovery they made on how our brains disseminate information. And so they discovered that using this mathematical technique called algebraic topology, that our brains create 11 abstract dimensions of thought. So before we get to our final thought,
Oh, we gotta send this to Elon Musk. No, keep going.
It creates like a sandcastle effect with your thoughts. So it said it's first, second, third, fourth, fifth dimension, etc. to hit the 11th dimension, and then all of a sudden, in that instant, it disappears, and then your thought is formed and fully able to be articulated.
Right.
But they used math to do that in the first thing ever, and like I've never heard of that mathematical technique. Like it's very esoteric, like math, like algebraic topology. Like I don't even know how you go about even learning that. But like doing things like that, you're benefiting society to a point, right? Like now you've learned more about the human brain. Maybe there can be more research put towards that leads to cures for disease and stuff. Like that's really what I want to. I want to leave that impact. Like I want to bridge the gap between data and like the rest of the world, because data is essentially at this point. Data, I think somebody said is the new like dollar, the new currency, the new gold.
Makes sense.
Facts.
So,
I've never seen you more focused in my life, bro. This guy looked like he was in college. Like he was just like this, like shut up. I think
he was like he heard the word esoteric and he just started fucking glitching out. And he's like esoteric.
He was talking to the brain, and I'm like required to study the brain, and I was trying to like put a image to the 11. What he said about the 11 thought patterns, and then it disappears and then creates your thought. But then I was trying to connect it to how it would be essential to medicine if we like. It's no real measurement of the brain's thought pattern to know if they're thinking these 11 things prior to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I was kind of like thinking about how to connect it.
Well, I think where it can lead in medicine is to like, so essentially when they did this analysis and they created these abstract dimensions, it's just showing the brain's neural patterns in a more detailed scope. And so like things like Alzheimer's, for instance, maybe if they apply this same analysis to an Alzheimer's patient, maybe they'll start to see where those connections break, and then that could lead to different kind of medical solutions. I'm not really sure. I'm not a doctor, but
I understand what you're saying. I said to like close the spacing of the, like at some point one of the 11 abstract points separate from the others, and that in itself can probably prevent the brain from connecting to memories, connecting to knowledge, connecting to thought. So that probably may help if they are actually measuring the 11 abstract concepts first. But I wouldn't know how they would measure that. You know?
Exactly. I don't even understand the technique they use. But
yeah.
I mean, just learn math for the next 10 years and then come back. You'll understand.
Come back with the algorithm.
Come back.
Yo, Hector, have you ever tried reading those machine learning papers, the white papers?
No, I don't.
I've tried, bro. I've tried. That shit is just. I'm like, fuck, man. Like,
wait,
I'm not worthy.
The machine learning papers or papers?
Yeah. So like sometimes people will put out white papers or whatever, some papers, some type of research like that dealing with machine learning, essentially coming up with mathematical formulas or whatnot, for whatever it's trying to achieve. I think like there's one specific algorithm, say for instance, that they use in order to style like an image based off another image. So say like we took a picture right now of all of us, and we wanted to change it to, or we wanted to like modify it so that it had the style of like a Picasso drawing. Like somebody wrote a paper about how to do that, and then other people grabbed that paper and then they applied the mathematics, and then they got that shit to work.
Yeah.
So like I try to actually read those papers, because at least when I started, I was like, nah, man, I'm the shit, yo. I'm smart. I went to school for engineering. I'm a data engineer, and I started reading, and I was like, oh no, I gotta be too focused for this shit. Like I gotta go out my way to like go learn other shit to help make sense of it. But it is pretty neat, man. It's just like the thing I like about technology is just like literally how everything builds up off each other, and I mean that's kind of like true of any type of like I guess anything dealing with like knowledge and shit like that, like it kind of builds on itself. But people just put out a paper, mad different people start coding it the same or different ways, they get the same result, and things should start iterating from there, or continue to iterate from there.
Yeah, man.
Exactly. Like the advent of machine learning actually came from math theory that originated in 1920. It was just impossible to implement until we reached this technological point in history.
There were so many computations at one time or something.
It's like what we had to. It's about processing power, but
Right.
also data. Like us having so much data is a big deal because we're able to use a lot of this data to train these models that are supposed to help us predict what's going to happen in the future. It's like you look at all these data points and you're trying to come up with a formula that hits ideally every data point, because then you have the perfect formula to predict the future. But it should hit most of those data points, and then you use whatever model you create from using the other data in order to make predictions, or in order to continue to analyze or classify other things. Like you use an algorithm, you'll take like 1 million pictures of dogs, and then you'll figure out a way to make it identify dogs, so that every picture going out after that, it'll know it's a dog because it had all these million pictures, and whatever, it came up with a model that finds the dogs in all these pictures, if that makes sense.
Like a weather machine trying to predict weather, and it's always wrong.
Well, that's because Illuminati doesn't want you to know the weather. And COVID's changing the climate.
Listen, there are weather machines up there that controlling the clouds.
Oh my God, chemtrails, 5G.
That 5G, baby.
5G vans and the mask. Oh my God.
So what do you do besides like the engineering, the data science side? Like, tell us about the other side of Hector, the one that people can't fuck with.
The fighting side. Let's see.
Ooh.
I mean,
fuck people up. I'm Bruce Banner.
So I see on your IG you put the pads on the fucking bars at the park, and then you just hit them shits, yo. It's just like you're on some like what's it called, blood sport type shit, like Jean-Claude Van Damme. You trying to break those shits?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, that's the only way I can really hit anything right now. I don't have a studio, so like I don't have a bag, and then I want to keep up my training, so I just tie it to that. And luckily, which I do not recommend the broader audience do this, but luckily my shins are very conditioned at this point, and my bones are very conditioned at this point from doing martial arts for like 20 plus years, that it doesn't really hurt to kick the pads. I even missed and hit my foot on the metal pole. And
that's what I was thinking, bro.
Yeah.
You're fucking wild, son.
It's actually, I thought it was gonna hurt a lot worse, but hold on one second.
You've beat the feeling out of your legs already, so
yeah, it's sorry, swallowed the wrong way.
COVID.
But I pretty much beat all the feeling out of my feet and my shins, because I used to, like, when I started Muay Thai. I wanted to like get really good at kicking. I wanted to be like the Thais when they were doing Muay Thai.
Chung Lee. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but like my kick kind of sucked. It was very like karate-esque. So I started at Koban's Muay Thai gym, and Koban has these like wooden poles, and then wrapped around it he has Fairtex pole bags. But like they were old and junky, and like really will fuck your skin up if like you messed up on the kick. And I was like, the best way for me to learn is to kick this like 200, 300, 400 times before practice. And then if I hurt myself, well, I'm doing it wrong. And if I'm not doing it, if I can do my 300 without like getting really fucked up, then I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
I did that for like 3 years, and I really conditioned my legs, and eventually now I've developed a very powerful kick that is without having to go to Thailand, and I can kick things like the metal pole with pads on it and like not really be all that fucked up.
So what's your just as a recap, like what is your experience as far as like training, competition, things of that nature?
Okay, so I guess I'll start at the beginning. I've done 8 different martial arts styles in competition. I got my first degree black belt in Kyokushin when I was 12, and then I started boxing and wrestling when I was 14.
Paul, did you like Kyokushin?
Kyokushin, karate.
Edwin, which Street Fighter character does Kyokushin?
You said what?
Which Street Fighter character? I need to. Yeah, give me a character. I
Just say them.
There's a SNK character that does something closer to Kyokushin.
Name
Her.
Rio, Mr. Karate, Rio.
White Key.
Right?
No, Rio. Well, Ryu is kind of sort of. He's like a mix, but like Rio and Mr. Karate from SNK. They do a style that's like almost exactly like Kyokushin in the game.
Number 2.
And Jin from Tekken. Jin.
Thank you. All right.
Jin from Tekken.
All right, number 2. Like to go. Number 2.
Okay, boxing, wrestling. When I was started was 14, so that's my second and third.
Kurt Angle.
Then I started doing MMA. So MMA is jiu-jitsu. The school at that time was Tiger Schulman's, and they taught kickboxing and jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
And then post college, I started doing Muay Thai and judo and sambo. So
Muay Thai, I forgot, right?
So Muay Thai, boxing, judo, sambo, jiu-jitsu, karate, boxing, wrestling.
Shit, bro.
What's up?
You're trained for war.
These guys are
You want to be a scientist? You're trained for war, bro.
He's gonna be a superhero, bro. That's what he's trained to be. He's fucking Spider-Man over here.
Yeah, well, it would be cool.
Or
I mean,
Batman.
like, the pandemic kind of put a
He's Batman.
plug on that right now, because I did have a big year coming up fight-wise. I was supposed to fight March 28th, and then the pandemic canceled that.
Sorry.
Yeah, we actually had another MMA fighter. She used to train. She used to train with Chin at Marcelo's.
And she said she's ready for
Gabby.
She said she's ready for anything.
She had an amateur career. She does like she's trying to get into boxing, and she's had a few pro MMA fights. Like her goal is to be UFC champion. So we had her on that squad.
Ooh, watch out! She's coming for you, Hector.
Hey boy, who was the lady she wanted to kill? She wanted to beat up some lady. Who was the lady's name?
Oh, she just wanted to be champion, but I can't recall who he brought up. But
Hector.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, Hector. No,
Hector.
He's like, I want to beat up Hector, my rival.
Yeah, she'd have to deal with. I don't know what weight class she would be, but she seems like she'd be small. But
she was small and full of energy.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean that was cool. Like, what is your what do you plan on doing with that? Are you just like playing it by ear, like depending on like the circumstances? Like, what's the next step with that?
What are you planning to do with your murderous skills, bro?
Well, I was hoping. Well, initially the plan before the pandemic was I was gonna fight and win in March. I got called to Triton Fights, which is the biggest MMA promotion for amateurs on the East Coast. I was supposed to fight in June. And then I was hoping to get a couple amateur titles this year. And then hopefully go pro. It was either go pro or retire. I'm hitting a crossroads now. It's like, but I don't want to give up my career before I at least get a couple amateur titles in Muay Thai and MMA. But my dream has always been to be like UFC champion of the world. Well, now it's really like ONE FC and Bellator. Like I like those promotions a lot too. So
I mean, because they pay you more too.
That is very true. That's also
I don't know about Bellator, but like Bellator, you can have your own sponsors. So like even if they pay you shit, which they probably do, like you could get sponsors out the ass. But ONE FC, I heard they pay like really good.
Oh, they pay like crazy
because they have like fucking Asian mafia money, like pushing that shit.
Listen,
exactly.
If all else fails, bro. I got a costume. You could put a costume on and just save people.
Like Phoenix Jones. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
No, like Kick-Ass.
So there were there's actually real life quote unquote superheroes who put on costumes.
I seen that. Isn't it like in Canada or something, like Toronto or some shit?
That's why they're so safe.
They go around beating people up.
Yeah. Some of them just do like charity work, but others do actually like fight crime. And one of them, his name's Phoenix Jones. He got arrested a couple years ago, but he was big.
For beating the shit out of somebody and not being.
He was.
Oh
He
man.
went to the dark side. Apparently, I think he got busted for selling drugs after.
Oh man, you only.
You're not making money solving fighting crime.
Man,
you either
he
die a
could've-
hero,
Yo, I knew
live
you.
long enough.
I knew that.
or you live long enough to become the villain, bro.
Oh man, I knew someone was gonna fucking say that.
But he
That-
was legit, guys. When he had a full Batman bulletproof suit and mask, like he was like decked out, and he would go around running around with tasers and like pepper spray and all this kind of shit. He got stabbed, he got shot at and shit. He was an MMA fighter. You could look him up on YouTube. There's a video of him beating up some drunk guy who challenged him to mutual combat, I think in like Portland or something.
But did he
What
tell
the
you
That's
fuck?
unfair. That's
Yo,
unfair.
he sounds crazy. Like who?
He did that for the highlights.
Yeah, that's
Sounds like a
fucking.
hero,
Oh
man.
yeah, like let me fight this drunk guy for clout. Fuck
That's
that.
why he got arrested.
Batman beat up special ed kids for years and nobody said anything. But now you talk about the drunk guy and now it's an issue?
Hey man,
Batman was going around beating up autistic kids for mad long.
I mean, Batman has a lot of issues. Like he basically takes an orphan kids and turns them into child soldiers. Like that
Yo,
shit
bro.
is like that's literally what he does, and like that's fucking weird. Like if I was Superman, I'd be like, "Yo, bro, you should not do that. That's kind of weird."
Batman beat people up and put them in an asylum, bro, and they got beat up by a penguin.
And they always fucking escape too. It's like and it's like just on a tangent talking about Batman. Like when you talk about Batman villains, like half of them are villains because of Batman.
Yeah.
Like he's a net negative for Gotham City. Like if he would have just died, the shit would get safer. Like yo, just let like Superboy or whatever cover it. Like
Instead of using his money for like research, he bought gadgets to beat up autistic people, bro.
that's crazy.
That's what he
That's
did with
crazy.
his finance money.
Yeah, because all the villains are like crazy, have like or like
schizophrenia, bipolar.
Yeah, like,
All
they
of them
need-
got mad like
they need doctors, and he's fucking hitting them on the head.
punch him in the face.
He's giving them CTE. Like what the fuck? Oh my god! And he probably has CTE now, so now he's super crazy.
He's schizophrenic.
Yeah. Fuck him. I like Superman better. Anyway.
No. Batman's still the best.
Nah.
He got the best.
Gargoyles.
But yeah, so Hector, you gonna be Batman or?
Yeah, maybe someday. Maybe,
Not
maybe when
anymore.
I'm hyper rich.
No. That shit in real life is stupid. Don't
Go be
do that.
Batman.
Because guns exist.
Yeah,
Well,
he
I'd
is
rather
that.
be Iron Man at this point. I programmed the computer to do the.
That's
I
different.
Like that. I
There you
like
go.
that. I want to be War Machine.
Status.
Just build like Johnny Five and have him fight crime for you. You don't even have to be there.
Well, we'll be there soon. In all seriousness, the world will be there soon enough with robots fighting in the
I
battle.
hope not. You seen that robot?
Gundam.
Well, the Boston Institute of Technology, I think they have functional walking robots already that can like.
No, they do. It's whatchamacallit, that company, Boston Dynamics. They're the ones who are building all those
Gundams?
like they could do it's less Gundams, it's more like that Call of Duty, like it wasn't the last Call of Duty, but it was some Call of Duty where they had one of the characters that was like it was fucking robot. It looks like that. And it could do backflips. Like
They also got like a dog. I think it's called Big Dog.
Yeah.
Dog robot.
It's on all fours and that shit, son. It doesn't even slip on ice, bro. Like they had it walking through like an ice surface, and they were kicking it, and it would just go like a deer, and then just get right back up. They're coming for us.
That's terrifying. That's
Skynet.
terrifying.
Skynet. So what else is? Oh, my bad. What are you saying?
No, I was gonna say something stupid, but it's too stupid now.
Okay, yeah. All right, cool. Nice. No. No, so like what else is up? So
Didn't I see you in a movie?
Yeah, so Camaria shot a short
moment.
film called Restless. That's actually was going to be my segue into this.
Wrestlers?
Restless, yeah, it's like a motivational short film about a martial artist, which I'm the actor. So like it's just me doing all these, I guess, fight scenes and training scenes, and she has a motivational poem over it. And so that's I guess what I've been using my martial arts skill for more now is helping her film her shots and stuff. She's always ready to record no matter wherever we are. Like she's like we could be chilling on the roof, and then she like had this artistic vision, and it's time for me to start shadow boxing.
Punch the air. Punch the air. Let me record you punching in the air.
That's dope. But didn't it win some awards or nominated for some shit?
Yeah, I think we got some. Well, we were a finalist in one film festival that we didn't win, and we were selected for like 6 others from 2 different categories. So we're under experimental and music video, because there's one version where she's doing the poem, and there's another one where she has this hype soundtrack going on.
Oh, that's dope.
And we recently got it selected for Venice and New York film festivals.
Oh, that's what's up.
And we had a big one was Lift Off, which is like a London, Hollywood base. And I think we have the potential for it to be shown in Hollywood and the big London studio over there. So.
Oh, that's dope. So are you
about to be a star?
Is this just a side venture, or is it something that's on the table, or is it something you want to pursue, or like what are your feelings about it?
Well, right now it's like just like I fully support Camarita's dream, and I want to help in any way that I can to make it a reality. So it's like kind of just like there right now. If I can help, I help. But it's become more interesting to me as I like continue to assist her. Like when she does her auditions, I record and I help edit the videos, and like I man the camera, even though I'm pretty shitty at it. And I read lines with her, and I pretend to be an actor, but it's
okay.
It's been more fun lately. I'm getting more comfortable with it because now I'm like, I guess, trying to connect emotionally to the piece and stuff. Like,
are you gonna be a method actor?
I don't know about that. I'm very monotone reading right now. So, but hopefully at some point I could do like Ronda Rousey or something. She has more lines now. She does.
Okay, all right. So let's check your range of acting. All right. So your dog just died. Go.
That I can't cry on command, and I'm not
smiling.
You don't gotta cry. Your dog died.
He's like, yes, my.
You're supposed to The correct answer is John Wick.
John Wick.
Go.
So I'm gonna carve a hole on the floor right now.
And then get your gun out.
The gun that I own.
There you go.
Ooh, I've seen this movie
there
before.
You go.
More like I guess Van Damme when he did kickboxing. He was like dancing in the club.
Oh,
hey.
You know, one of his first movie appearances. Anybody remember the movie Breakin'?
Nah.
No.
It's like one of those old school like. So there's like 2 major breakdancing movies. There's Beat Street, which was like Beat Street was like the New York side, right?
Yeah.
That was in the Bronx, and then had Breakin', which was in LA. And he was in a scene, and it's fucking hilarious. Like just YouTube that shit because he's in the background dancing. Like I'm like, what the fuck? It's just Jean-Claude Van Damme. It's just fucking random as shit.
If you ever need somebody to punch and stuff for your movies, Edwin's definitely your guy.
Oh, I'm not a movie guy. I'm not a movie guy.
We can turn you
guy.
into one.
Oh, you can make me a star? Okay.
You're gonna make you a star.
You'll make me a star. All right, cool. Let's do it.
Yeah, you just have to take these pictures.
Let's do this. Wow. Take these pictures, you fucking creep.
Yeah, just to see if you're good. If you got what it takes.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm being exploited already. What the fuck?
No, I'm trying to turn you. Do you want to be a star? Yes.
Yeah, he has a casting couch ready for you.
Fucking weirdo.
Casting couch.
Casting couch.
Casting. Oh no. The fucking casting couch.
There's a casting couch right behind you, Edwin.
So we got scientists, we got superhero, we got movie star.
Wait, so are you liking the movie stuff though? Or did you enjoy? Are you enjoying it?
So he's just
Oh yeah, it was cool. I mean, the process was not that much fun because Camaria works at her time schedule, and that could include 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning or midnight.
See, no, if you're a star, no, fuck that. If you're a star, you work when you want. You think, bro, you think Brad Pitt or Leo, bro, you think they get up at 3 a.m.? Fuck that. They wake up at 3 p.m.
Get up at 4 a.m.
They're supposed to be there at 5 p.m. and they show up at 7 and then they go home at 8. Come on, bro.
No, but after it was all said and done, it was fun. She edited. I mean, she did crazy, amazing work. She edited it all by herself. She went out and got all the feedback. I mean, she made me look good, which is I didn't think I was gonna come out because I'm not an actor. I didn't think I did that great of a job, but she did amazing. She did 99% of the work. I was just the body. So.
Is it in black and white?
No, it's not. It's in color. I think there's
I imagine black and white. I don't know why. It's just.
I think there might be not. I don't know if we did the shot. I don't think there's any scenes in black and white. I think we were playing with the idea of black and white, but it didn't fit.
Are you guys gonna do something similar, or is that a one-time project?
I think we're working. She's always recording me doing something, so I think she's coming up with an idea of like a part 2 or an extension or something. But I think what we want to do is a horror short next. She's gathering her ideas, and I'm just like waiting for her to instruct me. I just sit here and wait. I'm the conduit. I'm just like, you tell me to jump, I jump. But
like a superhero. I get it.
Exactly.
When was the last time you wrote your a poem, your spoken word?
I did one months ago. I think it was on the current political climate of Black Lives Matter.
You got to put that over your fighting video, girl. Then you got to hit. Put your own poetry over your fighting video.
Bro, it'll be absolutely no context. He'll be talking about fucking George Floyd while fucking kicking a bag. It'll be mad fucking...
Black lives. They matter.
While wearing a fucking Aztec suit. What's so do you want to be an Aztec warrior? That's what the people really want to know. Like, what's the deal with that?
100%, I do. Like, now that I've already proven my bloodline, I 100% want to be Aztec.
So like what, like tell us the origin of the Aztec warrior. Like how does that relate to you?
Well, so it's not even, so the best way to put it, I'm half Dominican and Nicaraguan. Obviously Latinos were all like hyper mixed with the world because everybody came and pillaged and raped and discovered our land, quote, air quotes.
Colonialism.
So I was curious about my DNA because my mom's Nicaraguan, my dad's Dominican. So I know my grandfather, he always talking about, my grandmother, she belonged to a tribe in Nicaragua. And like he knew my great grandfather and stuff. I never met that side of the family, but I could never get any answers of which tribe or what indigenous people inhabited in Nicaragua. So like I got the blood test done. It proved that I'm like 30% Native American. And then that like is primarily tied to this native Nicaraguan tribe called the Chorotegas. And the Chorotegas are like related to the Aztecs. They were an Aztec people in terms of the warfare that they waged and in terms of their cultural practices and stuff. So, and then like the valley that my grandmother was born in is called Niquinomo. And Niquinomo translates in the Aztec language to the Valley of the Warrior. So I was hyped. I did all this research. I was like, I know there's got to be a reason why I like to fight. Nobody else in my family fights. I think I have some long lost uncle that I've never met who was a boxer, and that's it. But like I know I connect to fighting, and like it's like I don't know. It's like if you have a calling, you guys probably might feel this way. It's like your blood like activates, like you feel like a connection to it. That's how
he said activate. I'm activated.
Yo, so
Exactly.
what's the other 70%?
Let's see. So I was like 17% African, like it was like 13% West African, like Nigeria and the Congolese, etc. And then there was North African was like 13.8% was West African. North African was like 3.2%, and then 30% is native Nicaraguan, like indigenous, and then I have like 0.2% like Mongolian or something.
Hey,
I have like 47% European, but primarily from Spain, which makes sense. They came and conquered and stuff. And then the difference, which is like 10%, is unknown because 23andMe doesn't have that DNA in their system. So
Oh, you're fucking alien, bro.
So
bro, you're like Stell. You're just like composed of all the great fighters from all around the world. Like you just have everybody's genes.
exactly, I'm like Baki, real life.
That's crazy. White people took us from our land and then sold us the information to tell us where we came from.
Exactly. But that's the quote air quotes discovery part. They discovered our DNA for us.
Mhm.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Like,
Niggas kill us anything. Oh yeah, we took you from such and such.
exactly, like the Killmonger scene in Black Panther. Where
Word. Word.
I mean, we're taking it back. So
Taking what back?
this.
Fair enough.
So that's how I guess that's how everything connects to Aztec warrior. Like I want to, like I've talked to Camaria in depth about this. It's like there's no real representation for like indigenous Latinos in Hollywood, right? It's like
No, what do you mean? Fucking Mel Gibson, Apocalypto. You didn't see that shit?
Word.
Come on. That's like
You got
that
guy
movie was
Hector.
intense though. Damn.
that was a good movie, yeah.
There's a guy in all the movies. His name is Hector in real life, and he plays Hector in every. He's like a gangster in every movie, and he plays Hector. Google Hector, and you're gonna see who I'm talking about. It's crazy.
I gotta check that out, man.
His name is
But
Hector in every movie.
yeah, no, I gotta Google that now. That's interesting. I'll check that out. But like, I mean, like in our culture, Latin culture is so what's corrosive.
It's messy, bro. It's messy.
yeah,
It's a messy culture. It's like too hard to like simplify. It's not black or white. It's
exactly.
more than that.
We don't necessarily sometimes have an identity because of a lot of the colonialism and the whitewashing in our culture that leads us to want to identify more with Europeans. So you get like lighter skinned Latinos who change their names, who go to Hollywood and they want to play like more European-esque characters, or they represent us as the help, like the maids or like the dishwasher, etc. And like even in like novelas and stuff, it's like typically it's not you don't have a darker skin or indigenous looking person playing a central role. You have them usually playing the help or like the bad guy or like something that's not on the same level as the rich housewife or the cowboy or the rich suitor who come to sweep the maiden away, right? We always relegated to secondary roles. And I mean, I want to stand for that. Like our DNA is very complex, like Jose was saying, and like I want to be a representation of Afro-Latin, Latinx culture versus like, oh, we have to assimilate to one way or the other, which you don't see a lot of people who are just like proud of their roots in Hollywood on TV and stuff. It's like, and it's a good reason too. I mean, like we have like the Blancamiento in our culture where like we erase Black identity within Latin and Latinx culture sometimes, or a lot of times, right? Because of how people were conditioned by colonialism. And then we don't really like take pride in our indigenous roots. We want to say we get good hair from Europeans, or like use terms like good hair, right? And I want to be the opposite of that and take represent my roots and stuff and show that Aztec warrior side to the world, like not like sell out or anything.
Man, that's dope. That's
big
dope.
part.
I mean, shit, man.
My fault. One thing I'll say is that I am liking this whole like embracing of like our roots and shit like that lately with the whole Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that. Because I'm just very happy with it. Because like growing up, you know, that's one of those things that I used to always get is like, yo, you think you're black or you're acting too black, or even like, you know, with my just black friends. When I mean just black, it's just like, you know, Black Americans, just, you know, them being seen as separate. And I'm like, I like the fact that, you know, now people are more open about it. They're embracing it. Now it's not the, you know, them and us. Now it's just all of us and shit.
Yeah. Oh, shit. It's raining. Lightning.
Yeah, I agree with you. Especially like a lot of, I mean, we love, just like Americans do, and white America does, we love to take Black culture in our land communities and take the hype and roll with it, but we don't like to give the credit where it's due. Like our dances, bachata, merengue, all of that came from
Los Palos, baby, Los Palos. That shit is straight African, bro. You never heard that song?
Sure.
The Blacks. You never heard Los Palos? Los Palos? I have to play it for y'all.
Hector, when you Google it, type in Hector in old movies, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. You're gonna be like, "Oh shit!"
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that after we have this. After we end this.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, man. Is there anything else you wanna talk about? That was a dope
I thought you were about to make a
conversation.
Spanish joke. I didn't know where you were going.
Oh no.
Like, yeah, man. Yeah.
You're gonna spit that poem, that new one. You're gonna give us a little preview of what you've been working on.
Oh yeah.
Artist corner.
I could spit it for you. All right, the poem's called "I Can't Breathe." I can't breathe. This pain reverberates through my frame and takes my legs from me. I can't see because my eyes are painted red from rage, and the blood-stained scenes of brutality and racism etched into the foundation of the concrete. I can't think, remembering the racism that shaped my being, from my mannerisms to the way that I speak, to the way that I act in order to maintain my well-being. I can't dream because survival impedes my ability to believe in anything that is unique. A world shaped by misguided perception and ignorance with a fucked up, non-existent ideology shaped in the form of the American dream. A dream that was never built to include me and others like me. My Black brothers and sisters beaten under the system that once considered them 3/5 of a human fucking being, where 2/5 of them are still screaming to be let free. Whole continents shaped by the landscapes of colonialism and white supremacy. Whole textbooks restructured to match their perception of history. Maybe it's just their warped sense of reality. Sociopathy and delusion to validate their evil deeds. Hiding in the guise of religion, somewhere between fact and fiction, where justice is a two-sided coin landing in their pick every time. Lies and gaslighting to hide what's in plain sight. Like it wasn't just yesterday that when the sun went down, you best run out of town if you weren't white. You see, history was yesterday for us, but somewhere in a galaxy far, far away from them, and most of them drew their line in the sand way back when they waved down their "Don't Tread on Me" flags. We all knew they were snakes in the grass. So it comes as no surprise that most of them are fighting the revolution that's formed in front of their eyes. They can no longer play deaf, dumb, and blind to their creation this time. The powder keg they've been filling since their war cries of my ancestors, where bullets were exchanged for food and knowledge of foreign lands, where humanity was erased and replaced with the crack of a whip and heavy metal chains that marked the start of 400 years of slave. And to the few that stand by our sides, thank you. And to the rest of my people fighting the good fight, stay brave in the darkest nights.
Woo! Bro, that was dope.
Fire.
Fucking warrior poet.
That's the spirit of your Aztec ancestors.
Punch the bag in black and white. You gotta punch it slowly. That was fire.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
No doubt.
And that's what
I guess I'll just holla.